This is High and Mighty Talks with me, Nuben Menkares. We are back. We live another day. I want to say to you all, welcome to High and Mighty Talks with me, Nuben Menkares. And before we get into it, let's jump into this. Start off always by giving acknowledgement to our ascendants, ancestors, and ascendants, but mostly our ascendants, the ones who are coming after us, our children who are yet to come. So when I say in the name of Amen, the Supreme, the all-powerful, the one and only true Lord, and Amen we trust, and Amen we thank it, and Amen we continue forward. I'm talking about us as a race, who we are truly meant to be, who we came here to be, who we ultimately are, as the Amen race, separate from the human race, a whole nother species of people. And I spoke on this before. But right now I'm going to talk on the topics of the Olmecs and Mesoamerican. There's a lot of things I want to touch on. I even want to clear up one of the topics I was supposed to touch last time I was here, but I got so, caught up in going through topics. But we're going to jump right into this. Let's discuss this Olmec thing, right? Who are the real Olmecs? Okay. All right. Who are the real Olmecs? Right now, you see that there is more and more information, more and more intel coming out about the Olmecs, the Aztec, the Inca, and the Mayan, the Mesoamerican people. Basically, the original American people, the first Americans. The people that are rarely ever talked about, the first people that set up civilizations in this society. We are discovering that is actually our people. We have discovered that through great sources like Dane Calloway, like Caremio, can't forget Caremio, how I don't want to mispronounce his name, Caremio site, Dane Calloway, and of course, our own ethnic American historian, Sister N. Ravanzetta, been bringing out these awesome facts about who we are as the real Americans, the ethnic Americans or the Mesoamerican people. That's us. We are the descendants of the Mesoamerican people, and the proof is just so staggering right now, it's ridiculous. But you have to ask yourself, why was this concealed from our people? Why was this truth about who we are as ethnic Americans, not Africans, ethnic Americans, why was this truth concealed from our people? Simply because, like I said again, in the establishing of Caucasians in America, European immigrants, because I'm going to get into that in a minute about the European immigrants. When these people were started to establish themselves in America, establish a government, these people basically wanted to make themselves the face of America. Caucasian, European, Caucasian immigrants wanted to make them their face, the face of America. They didn't care if other people was here already living. They didn't care about other people that had land and had, civilization, culture here and things like that, were farming the land, were cultivating the land. They didn't care about that. They didn't care about the people's way of life. They said they come from Europe. They came here poor, destitute, hungry. And when you got poor, destitute, and hungry people, desperate people, they will do anything once they get to what they consider to be the promised land. They never saw nothing like America. When these Europeans were coming into America and they was referring to this as the New World, they fell in love with America. All of the vast land mass and, the plush land and the plains and all this stuff. America is truly a beautiful place, very beautiful. And here it is, we as the people who founded the first civilizations in America, we still have not seen all of America, nor do we know America and all of its richness and beauty. Mainly because you got a lot of Caucasians in these enclaves who are racist as hell, who don't want our people, the people that really established this country here and made a lane for Caucasians and everybody else to come here. We established it through our slave labor. We built America. There was no America, and I'm going to keep saying that. There was no America until we built it. That's one thing I agree with Tariq Nasheed on. There was no America. There was no American government. There was no economy until our slave labor built this country and made a lane for everybody else to come here. But after we did all of that, after we built this country, after we fought for this country, after a lot of our inventions, many of our inventions, and even the foundation of a lot of things here, medicine and all that, after all of our contributions went into building America, the Caucasians basically kicked us to the curb and basically took credit for the things that we contributed and basically buried our history. And that means they buried our ethnic American history, our Mesoamerican history, our American Indian history. And I'm going to say, yes, we are the North American Indians. Yes, we are. I posed that question. Who are the North American Indians? We are so-called black people who are falsely being called black, or falsely being told that they come from Africa, or falsely being told that they're African Americans. Our people are North American Indians. Now, the term Indian is really another way of saying indigenous. If you look up the word Indian, it is not, I'm going to repeat, it is not connected to India. It is not. Reason I'm saying this is because, like Sister Enra Vanzetta brought out on the Ethnic American channel, that the term Indian was only applied to people in the Americas. It was not applied to the people who are currently called Indian, who are Hindus, who are actually East Indians. Or should I say Hindus. They didn't refer to themselves as Indians at all. That didn't come into like the 50s or the 60s when they started calling themselves Indian, and they took on that term Indian in India. But these people are Hindus, and their original place, the name of India was called Hindustan. Look that up. Look that up. The proof is out there. You can look it up. Google it, look it up, read about it. The original name prior to the changing of it to India was Hindustan, which makes all the sense in the world because these people still refer to themselves as Hindus. That's their religion, Hinduism. All right. And their country was named Hindustan, and their language was called Hindi. You see, their language was called Hindi. All right. So the people who you call East Indians are not Indians at all. And the people who you're called, the so-called Mongoloid Indians, the red Indians with the slanted eyes and the straight hair, they are not Indians either. Those people are Asians. Those people are Asians. They came over and crossed the Bering Straits when they were escaping from Mongolia, because these are Mongolians who came into South and Central America. And when they came here, they saw our people. Who were the Olmecs? Who were the Aztec? Who were the Inca? Who were the Mayan? You had many people before the so-called white man came here. You had people that would come in here before him. People who crossed the Bering Straits and came from Mongolia into America and mixed in with our people. You had them drop off Asian slaves, like Sister Enra Vanzetta brought out. They brought over here Asian males who came over here and mixed with the so-called black women that was over here, who was being referred to as Indian. You could also look this up. They referred to our people as Indian. The Caucasians were referring to our people first as Indian people. Indian is another way of just saying indigenous. It has nothing to do with India. See, I know what the problem is when we hear the word Indian, and I used to be the same way. I can admit it. When you hear the word Indian, you automatically think the East Indians. You automatically think the people with the straight hair and the feathers and the bows and arrows, or you think the people with the dots on their head in India somewhere. You automatically think that. But see, we don't do no research. We don't do no history. You see, shout out to Dane Calloway. Shout out to Enra Vanzetta. Shout out to Karimia. All the people I use as sources, for the foundation of who we are as ethnic Americans. I use those great historians. I'm putting them up there as great historians now because it takes a whole lot of patience, time, and focus to be able to go in and find these books. Because a lot of you people say, oh, where's the proof at, brother? Where's the proof? I hit you guys in the comment section. Where's the proof at? Where's the literal proof? Where are you getting this from? I'm giving you my sources. I'm giving you long sources. Huge, people who got straight up documentaries up there, and they quoting from books that you can easily find where you're getting this from. So the proof is out there. The proof is out there that we are natives to America, so-called black people in America, separate from the tribal Africans, two different people. Okay? Which brings me to this, okay, well, let me finish up with this Olmec thing. So now you got a lot of the Latinos who are part of that migration, who are descendants or are part of that migration across the Bering Straits from Mongolia and came into America. You got a lot of these people who are the descendants of those people who came over here and mixed in with our people, adopted a lot of our cultures. And now these people, the descendants of those people who are there today, are trying to claim that they are the original people. No, you're not the original people, because the original people, the Olmecs, the Aztec, the Inca, and the Mayan, they're still here in the pure, pristine state. You look up over my head here. You see over my head here, that is a picture of the Mayans. This is from their own paintings. This is not nothing I did. This is not nothing that was reproduced or replicated. This is not something that was just this was actually from their walls in Central America, Yucatan, things like this. These murals are all over the place. They're called the Bone and Park temples, and a lot of this stuff is in the Mexican Museum. Not to mention, I pointed out the fact, if you look up a picture of who the Mayans are, because that's a big thing now. A lot of these Latinos who got the straight hair and the brown skin, you know, the people you call brown with the straight hair, they're claiming Mesoamerican ancestry. They're claiming that they're the Olmecs. They're claiming that they're the Aztec. They're claiming that they're the Inca. They're claiming that they're the Mayan people. This is what they're claiming. And you could clearly see how the Mayans look. You could clearly see it's many, many, many images of the Mayans. They're images that they made of themselves, not these fake images that are being painted and they putting these Latinos in the places of Mayans. I'm talking about the actual pictures of how the Mayans look as bronze, copper-colored people. And that's us. Mexicans today are called brown people. They have never been referred to as bronze or copper-colored people. Bronze, copper-colored people fits our people in the many shades. Your so-called Mexicans, they only come in one shade, brown. I ain't never heard no other shade. You might find a few white ones. But here's an even important question I posed to one of my wives. I said, question. If y'all saying that the Mexicans, because they got this chart up, right, where they putting some Mexican people's faces next to the Olmecs and all these different people. And they taking people who look like they obviously been mixed down, because keep in mind, your so-called Latinos, your Mexicans and all of them are mixed race people. This is why you got black ones, you got white looking ones, and you got Asian looking ones. You got Latinos look Asian, because this is all the people that mix together. So they're a mixed race of people. Your Latinos are a mixed race of people. They got Caucasian, they got the Spanish in them, conquistador from the conquistadors, a lot of them Spanish. They got the black in them, who some of our people's Mesoamerican blood is in them, but they're not the direct descendants. They're indirect descendants. That's what I wanted to say about them. So when you see some of these Mexicans and they put in their face, and you might see some of them got thick lips, you might see some of them got broad noses. That's from us. That's our traits. Thick lips and broad noses are our traits. So-called black people, the copper-colored people, these are our traits. The woolly hair. You see, that's our traits. That's our images up there. Okay? And just because your people got mixed in and you were the product of the mixing does not make you a direct descendant. That makes you an indirect descendant. Now, if you Latinos say y'all indirectly descended from the Aztec, Mayan, and all these other people, if you say you're indirectly descended from them because of the mixture, okay, because of the mixture, my shirt's always riding up. If you say that you are indirectly connected to these people because of the mixing between the Mesoamerican, the bronze people, the Caucasians, and the Asian influence, then fine. You could say that, but don't say you were direct, and don't go playing yourself and putting your face next to the Olmecs. Y'all know that's not y'all. You know that's not y'all. You know that's bronze people. And you're trying to take credit for a heritage and a rich history that's not yours. Because, again, if you truly are the Native Americans, which I'm going to get into that, because really, I didn't never see Mexicans claiming none of the Mesoamerican heritage. And as much as I've been around, I done heard all the Pan-African stuff, and I done heard all and I never really was with the African thing because it just didn't feel right. I didn't know back then, how deep our connection into America was. I knew we had a connection, but I didn't know, and I wasn't buying into the African thing. So this is like music to my ears to know and finally hear the truth, the logical and factual truth. Nobody just trying to claim somebody like a lot of you Latinos and Caucasians try to say, oh, you so-called black people, you from Africa, and you just trying to claim somebody else's heritage because y'all wasn't doing nothing in Africa but swinging around and being in the trees and all this other dumb nonsense you heard from these Caucasians, which is a lie, which is a huge lie. I didn't know our connection until we found out these facts about our people, who the first people they did the DNA testing of the first people who were found here in America, and it's bronze people. And they thought they was going to find Mongoloid people, and they even said that because they do classify you Latinos as being part of that Mongolian bloodline. They classify you as being part of that Mongolian genetic or that bloodline that came over here. And y'all keep trying to deny that y'all not a part of that. I don't know why you're trying to hide your history and heritage. I don't know why. But they didn't start claiming Olmecs and things like that, and that they're the Olmecs and the Aztec and all. They didn't start claiming it until our people started claiming it. Until we started looking up and seeing the murals in the Bone and Park Temple, and we start seeing those lips and noses, and we start seeing how the Aztec and the Inca really look and the Mayans really look. Till we start seeing that, and we saw those pictures, and we saw those Olmec statues, and we was like, that's us, man. That's us. That's being hidden from us. That history, our history is the true civilization builders, the first civilization builders in the Americas is being hidden from us. Why is our original heritage as the real Americans being hidden from us? Simple. Because Caucasian people, European immigrants, who are falsely being called Americans, wanted to establish themselves as Americans. Which brings me to this. Why are white people in America not referred to as European Americans? If so-called black people can be referred to as African American, which we're not even from Africa, if we can be referred to as African American, and they say we are immigrants too, and then we came over here on slave ships, they called it false immigration, they tried to make up these stupid titles like the government do. Why is it, if we can be called African American, because they claim they took us from Africa and we're not native to America, so therefore they making it seem like we immigrants and they give us the name African American. Why are white people not called European Americans? Why are they just called Americans or white Americans? Why are they not called European Americans or European immigrants? Why are they not called that? Now it's clear that they from Europe. Why are they not? Why is that being erased? Why do we ain't never been to Africa, yet they calling us African. The Europeans, the Caucasians came directly from Europe into America. They're not native to this land. They're not real Americans. They're Europeans and American. No white person is American. No, none of these people, because in order to be American, you have to be the first people here. To be indigenous to the land, you have to be the first people here. You don't get to be born in another country or have heritage and origin in another country. Then your family came here 200-300 years ago or however long you've been here. Now all of a sudden you native to the land. It don't work that way. Because if that's the case, then why are black people still being called African American? If that's the case, why are we still being called African American? We didn't even come from Africa, but let's just say that we did. Let's say that we did come from Africa. Why is it that we no longer? Why is it that we have a problem just saying we American? Why do we have to be African American? Why ain't y'all European Americans? Answer: because y'all want to forget about your European heritage and ancestry. You Caucasians want to have the right to tell other people to get up and go back to your home country, go back to Africa, go back to Asia, go back there. But nobody tells y'all take y'all white asses back to Europe. Nobody tells you to get up and go back to Europe. Because everybody got every right to tell you to get your ass up and go back to Europe. But you'll be ready to have a heart attack if somebody tell you came from someplace else, which is the truth. Because y'all got a hard time with absorbing the truth. I noticed that. A lot of you so-called Caucasian patriots and you hard-headed Pan-Africanists, you got a problem with absorbing the truth of your origins and where you came from. You want to be seen as the Americans. You want to cut away your European heritage. The same way you so-called the Mongoloid Indians, they want to act like they didn't cross the Bering Straits and that their origin is really from Asia and Mongolia. They want to act like that history don't exist. Why do they get to be called Native American and act like that history where they come and cross the Bering Strait, which y'all brought out and proved that these people are not native to America, the people who you calling Indians or Native Americans, a term y'all made up, these people are not native to America. These people are not native to America. They came from they are part of that migration from Mongolia into America, where they crossed the Bering Strait during the Ice Age. They came over here into America. So why is there Asian? Those people are actually Asian. Those people are on the plantation. I mean, it's not the plantation, the reservation. It might well be the same damn thing. But anyway, do people that's on the reservations, now, well, it ain't the same thing because they ain't really being made to work or do nothing. But my point is, those people that are on the reservations, those people are Asians and Caucasians mixed. That's what they are. They're not natives to America. Y'all do know that. You do know that these people signed on to the Dawes Act, a lot of these Caucasians that mixed in with those people, and they're nothing but the descendants of $5 Indians who were putting their name on the doors rolls and whatnot and getting land and money and things like that for $5. And these are the same people that are sitting up on reservations today and taking tax money, our tax money, to give them to tell this lie that they are American Indians and that they are tribal leaders and all this nonsense, a bunch of lies. See, that was always the plan pretty much over time, that the Caucasian Europeans would come over here and mix their seed with the Mongoloid Indians and kind of just basically mesh in with those people. That goes back to when a lot of these Caucasians were coming over here and getting with the so-called black woman, the ethnic American woman, so-called black woman who owned land back in the 1600s. A lot of these people were coming over from Europe and they were broke, and they had people to sponsor them to bring them over here. And a lot of them came over here and got with black women. You do know that. Do the history on that. And they married those so-called black women that had offspring. That's why you get a lot of mulattoes here in this country. And a lot of those offspring married other white people, and eventually they married their way in and became white over time. You see, they don't want to talk about that history. They don't talk about the Latinos don't talk about their true origin, and maybe they don't know what their true origin is. Well, I'm here to tell you, y'all at best, y'all are mixed race of people. At the most, y'all are descendants of those people who came over from across the Bering Straits and came over into Mongolia. And you know what? Part of that, there was I remember there was a TV show that came on called The Mongols. It was called The Mongols. Now, this TV show was about a Latino biker gang called The Mongols. Oh, no, matter of fact, is it no? What was it called? I think they were that, if I'm not mistaken. The Mayans, it was the Mayans, but then it was something where it was a biker gang of Latinos. As a matter of fact, that's a real biker gang called the Mongols. A Latino biker gang out here is a real gang called the Mongols. Now, what is that short for? Mongolian? Now, why would these Latinos and these biker gang call themselves the Mongols? I thought they was the Mesoamericans. I thought they was the Mayans, the Aztec, and all these other people. Why are they calling themselves the Mongols? Because that's their connection to the Mongolian Empire and the people that crossed over here. That's why if you look at a lot of Latinos, like your Fat Joes and all of them, they got slanted eyes. A lot of these people got slanted eyes. They got Asian look to them, a lot of Latinos. Like the girl Darlene on Corey Holcomb's show. She's Asian. Her ancestry is Asian. I bet you right now, if they took her hair and they took a lot of you Latinos hair and they could match it up and they would consider that, because you know the so-called white men, they do that. They match up different genetic material and DNA by hair samples. So they consider Latino hair or so-called Latino hair. They put that under Asian. They put that under Asian Mongolian, because and the Mexican same thing, because they call their hair hollow hair. Hollow. Okay? They have that spiky black hair. They put that under Asian. Okay? So this is the origin of these people. Just like they got the Caucasian hair, they know it's Caucasian hair. They know it's Asian hair. They know it's so-called black people hair. They know what it is. They know what the tribal African hair is. They know what all that is. They know who's who. And they know our people are the real Americans. We the only people that didn't come from any place else, that we started here in the Americas. And that's what a real Native American is. A Native American is one who started here in America, who built civilization, who didn't come from any place else. We did not come from Africa. That's a lie. Our origin is America. And that's being hidden from our people. Thus the term black people. Black people is a way of hiding our American heritage and our American history. That's why they had to make us black people. We went from the copper-colored races to colored people, from copper-colored to black and Negro, because they were trying to conceal who we are. And again, the proof is in the pudding about everything. And I'm going to say this too. Now, you Latinos, a lot of y'all say, oh, you know, the Latinos are Native American or whatever. Why y'all never put in the Mesoamerican, why you never put the black Latino faces up there? Oh, that's right, because you think they from Africa too. You think they from Africa too, thus the term Afro-Latinos. No, those so-called Afro-Latinos, black Latinos, they're not from Africa at all. They look just like us. They're actually originally from there. They were there before you were. Stop telling this lie that all black people in the South and Central and South America came through the slave trade. That's a damn lie. That is a lie. That is a huge, bold-faced lie. They were already there. They were there before you people crossed the Bering Straits and came into America. Do your history. Do your research. This ain't no pseudo nothing. Now, if you want to talk pseudo, the people that created this whole idea, this whole out of Africa theory, right? A bunch of Caucasian racists, Caucasian Zionist racists, right? Two people who are the fathers of the whole out of Africa theory, who are fathers of the whole, which is what people like your Umar Johnson and all these Pan-Africanists put this idea that, you know, oh, we all come from Africa. This is founded on the theory created by Melville Herkovitz. Melville Herkovitz, look up these names. Melville Herkovitz and France Boas. France Boas and Melville Herkovitz, two Caucasian Zionists who came up with this idea of black people and African Americans and black people and so-called black people in America are linked to black people in Africa. In other words, you know what their research was? Oh, they look like those people. They got the same skin complexion as those people. So they must come from with those people. They made sure to point us away from America and say we came from someplace else, because the whole idea is not to make our people the face of America, not to make the copper-colored races, the bronze people who they came here saw feathers in our head before everybody, because all that feather, bows, and arrow stuff come from us. But we can't, as we're trying to, in other words, as Caucasians are trying to establish themselves in America, they have to take down the people who are already established, the people that had the land, the people that were farming the land, the people that were cultivating the land, the people who were the ethnic Americans, the real Native Americans, the real indigenous people of this land, the American indigenous people, or Indian as you call them, our people, the copper-colored people, the copper-colored races who are known as Americans. 1828 Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Who the hell else could it be talking about? Now, again, who are the copper-colored people? It's not the so-called Mongoloid Indians, because you call them red people. It ain't the Mexicans, because you call them brown people. I've never heard them be referred to as copper-colored. The only people that fit that description is so-called black people in America. And our skin is not even black. They classified it as a way to take our American, origin, to erase our American origin and replant themselves in our place. That's why we had our ethnic American heritage taken away from us. And we sitting around here calling ourselves black people, ignorantly calling ourselves black people, basically calling yourself a people that don't exist, because black means basically non-existent, not there. So you're calling yourself a bunch of non-existing people, black people, hidden people, people who are not visible. This is what you've been conned into calling yourself with the help of a lot of your sellout Pan-African leaders, a lot of your sellout Pan-African teachers who have invested in this lie of this Melville Herkovitz and this France Boas. And they also recruited this Gray W.E.B. Du Bois, who you could tell he's a Gray. You could tell he got a lot of the blood of the Caucasian in him. He jumped on this whole African bandwagon. And the reason why they got him and recruited him so he could sell that idea to so-called black people. You see, which, again, we didn't call ourselves black people. That was an insult to call us black. We didn't refer to ourselves that way. We referred to ourselves as natives of this land, indigenous people, Indian, whatever you want to refer to. You know, the names white people was calling us, American. We came with those names. They called us Indian, black Indian. They referred to us as Indian all the time. Before they got around to calling us Negro and African American and black, they was referring to us as Indian. Prior to these guys and their racist pseudo-scientific BS about the races and who's more intelligent. You know how it is when these Caucasians, they give themselves these titles of doctor this and doctor that, and they make up a bunch of lies and a bunch of fake theories and a bunch of pseudo-intellectual babble about white people being more superior than black people, and that black people are the lesser and the lower because, see, y'all black and you come from Africa and you see those people are primitive over there and you're primitive just like these people, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And this whites, we are superior. And that's always what the teaching goes to. That's the foundation of Africanism or Pan-Africanism. These Caucasian Zionists saying that our people are inferior because these were the same people feeding off of the whole Darwin thing. See, all these people were together and creating these so-called pseudoscientists were coming together. These Caucasian pseudoscientists were coming together to create this racial doctrine, this white supremacist racial doctrine of white people being the saviors of America, and white people are so advanced, and white people are this, that, and the third. If you really did the history of white people in America, really the history of white people in America, their existence in America says anything other than supreme or superior. Their existence here says anything other than that. I'm going to just leave it at that. How they had to survive over here, how a lot of them died off over here, how they didn't know how to grow food on the land. Everything that Caucasians got in America, they were helped with. They were given land grants by the government. They had land taken from our people and given to them. They got our people on land farming, land sharecropping, put our people in slavery, everything to enrich them. So don't give me this nonsense about pull yourself up by your own bootstraps and how advanced white people are. Everything they got was by the gun. Everything they got was by the gun. Everything they got was by force. Everything they got was by conniving and lying to people. Like they doing now. Like they got y'all believing you come from Africa. Like they got you believing that this is not really your country. You're native to this country. They are not. You are native to this country. And then sad thing, you got like bonehead Pan-Africanists who also feeding into this lie of these three clowns, the three stooges, Herkovitz, the boy, and Boaz. You see, telling us this lie, because that's where all the Pan-African stuff comes from. Prior to that, nobody was talking about our people came from Africa. Look up these people again. Melville Herkovitz, Francis Boas, and W.E.B. Du Bois. You can find them. These are the creators of Pan-Africanism. You know what Mr. Umar Johnson and all his ilk stand for? He's the reason why they're the reason why you guys are wearing damn kente cloth and acting like you come from Africa. You see, they're lie. And that was all based in them trying to install an inferiority mindset in our people and have the world look at us as inferior and have the world look at them as superior, because they get to tell this whole black and white mythology that white people came here and got America going and engineered America and did all this other stuff. That's not how it happened at all. You see that? They love talking about revisionist history. All of white American history is revisionist history, meaning all of it is fake. That's a bunch of lies. That's all revisionist history. They love to say that we do revisionist history. No, this is actually accurate history about our origins. Again, look at the Bone and Punk temples. Go to those people I mentioned as my source. All right. We're going to touch some more stuff. I touched on the three liars. I touched on the three liars of the whole African out of Africa theory. I touched on the three liars: Herkovitz, Du Bois, and Boaz. You just look these guys up. It ain't hard to find them for all you Pan-African nuts who got a problem with letting go of Pan-Africanism. You see, this is why our people have not been able to come together and do anything in America, because a lot of you people are confused about your origins. And when you got people who are confused about their origins, they're going to be confused about their direction or their destination in the future. And that's why you see so-called black people here in America still embracing blackness, still believing they come from Africa, still with the whole blackity black nonsense, like a lot of people was doing at that damn revolt thing. A lot of black talk was being done. I noticed that that revolt, a little gathering that Tariq Nasheed did for reparations out there in D.C., a whole lot of black talk. I told you. Be mindful of these people who are teaching that we're still black in 2022. Be mindful of these people that are still pushing blackness to our people, right? As we're coming into the illumination in the light of who we are as the real Americans, ethnic Americans, the actual people who are indigenous to this land. This is our country. We built this country. We are the indigenous Americans of this country. And I know that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, but so what? Truth is truth. Don't never be afraid to tell the truth. You see, never be afraid to tell the truth. You see, a lot of people want to punk us into living a lie. A lot of people want to punk us into being black. They want to punk us into being African American. They want to punk us into being Negroes. They want to punk us into believing in the 400 years ago slave trade, transatlantic slave trade. They want to punk us into that. But then when we can debunk it, oh, y'all not the real. See, y'all coming with some pseudo. No, that everything you taught us was pseudo. everything. That we black, that we from Africa, that we niggers and Negroes and all this other BS. That's pseudo. Welcome to the truth. We're going to touch everything, and I'm going to get on everything. Let me make sure I touch all this. All right. Oh, I wanted to try this out while I'm here. Try this out while I'm here. I'm going to see. This is my buffalo horn. I purchased this buffalo horn. And this buffalo horn, this is a genuine buffalo horn. I purchased it, ordered. This is part of our culture right here. Because you do know we were the ones that were eating the buffalo. We were the ones eating the buffalo. We were the ones taking the horns. We were the ones taking all types of things from the buffalo and using it and whatnot. And we used the horn. So, this is an instrument. Okay? This is an instrument. You see a lot of Mongoloid Indians and Latinos, certain people playing the horn and acting like this is part of their culture. No, this is a part of our culture. This is really a part of our culture. I'm going to try this out. I'm going to get it. I got it. Hold on. I was playing it before, but I'm going to get it. But I want people to see this. This is part of our culture right here. Let me see. I'll get it. I need to moisturize my lips a little bit more. I'm going to play this. But we're going to get smaller ones and whatnot, because this is a part of our American culture. This is a part of our American roots. This is a part of our American heritage. A lot of things we left on the table with our culture because we sitting up here believing we African. But I'm gonna play this before it's over and whatnot, before the cast is over. And my wife bring me some nice moisturizer for the lips so I can get it. It's the same thing as playing a horn. If you could play a horn, you can play this. I'm not a horn player, but I'm gonna master this because I feel a connection with it already. The buffalo horn, because we were the ones wrestling the buffalo. We were the ones catching horses, bear. We were the ones that were doing the first cattle wrestling and stuff like that. We was hunting the buffaloes out here first. We did that. So the buffalo is native to America, and we were the ones feasting on it, eating it, and everybody else came over here and started copying us, the Mongoloid Indians and everybody else. So they took our culture. And again, how you know that? I'm going to prove to you this. I'm going to prove to you this. I'm going to prove to you this. How you know that black people, so-called black people and native to America, is because if you notice, black people are the only ones that are deprived of resources. Black people are the only ones who are deprived of resources in this country. Do you know that? We're the only ones that are deprived of resources here. We don't get no government loans or grants or nothing like. We don't get that. We don't get no help from the government. We don't get nothing. But all these other immigrant groups, they can come over here, including white people, because that's how white people got on in America. They got on through governmental assistance. The land acts in which they was given millions of acres of land to farm. They were given houses. They were given all kinds of stuff. The GI Bill. Caucasians were given a boot up in America. They want to lie and say they wasn't, but that's just a bold-faced lie. Our tax money gave everybody a boot up in this country, except us. We was just made to work this country and slave in this country and build the economy, but we have not really benefited from this economy. You see the people that came over here and benefited from this economy, all of those people are immigrants. From the Caucasian people, the Europeans, from the Mongoloid Indians who now have casinos and are sitting on land reservations that they get to police, who they're really Asians. The so-called Asian community who are openly calling themselves Asians, who have whole enclaves in America where they got their own police force. Nobody bothers them people. They got their Chinatowns and things like that. Now you got the Ukrainians coming over here. You got the Mexicans. All these people are being given resources, given money, being located here into America, right here in New York. Right now, they up in hotels and things like that. They being given all kinds of vouchers and money to basically live. Our tax money is going to that. Now they say, where so-called black people got any of that money? They want to talk about welfare and all that. wrong, the people who are the biggest welfare recipients are white people in America. That's a fact. And in the key places, one of the key places, someplace in Kentucky, where 99% of the people, Caucasians in this town, are on welfare. But the key people that are recipients of welfare are white people. And I only bring that up is because people, these racists will turn around and say, oh, y'all got y'all reparations and affirmative action and welfare. First of all, affirmative action benefits white women, has benefited white women more than it does so-called black people. And welfare goes to Caucasian people. It don't go, and Caucasians and Jews get it too. That's where the welfare go. It don't go to black people. You might see a few black people here and there, but for the most part, they don't get no money to live. They don't get no money to live on that. You got people, like I said, who just getting you got corporations and white corporations that get a whole lot of tax breaks, a whole lot of contracts, things that come from the people that are being given a hand up, yet the contracts, the government contracts and things like that are not given to black companies. They're steered away from black companies. You see, so-called black companies. So this proves that we're native because, see, one of the things that people who are colonizing your neighborhoods, colonizing or gentrifying your neighborhoods, which is the same thing, colonizing, gentrifying, what they do is they make sure when they come to a place, if there's natives here, they make sure the natives will not get anything. They make sure that they start taking the resources for themselves so that the natives don't get anything. They want the natives poor. See, because the natives had the resources before them. So, of course, they want to do a redistribution of wealth, and they're going to make sure that they have everything at the end. Thus, you see white people with 98, 99% of the wealth here, the Asians, when all this wealth here, all these people, but the people that actually built the economy, they don't got nothing. You think that's by accident? You think it's one of those, pull yourself up by your own bootstrap story? No. That's done purposely to keep our people without, because we are the natives. Again, America was set up for immigrants. The United States of America, the colonies, was set up for Caucasian immigrants. And then they started to extend the invitation to other Caucasians who were coming from Europe, starting with the Irish, then the Italians, and so on and so forth, the Greeks, and they start letting them be white. They wanted to get in on this white thing in America, right? Yeah, the European Jews, they got in on it too, this white thing in America. And they basically was displacing our people. They start erasing our face as the ethnicity of America, the real face of America. They started erasing our people. And they started making themselves wealthy in America. They set up their own system and started making themselves wealthy in America and depriving our people of resources, forcing our people off our land, taking our land and forcing us down into Mississippi and places like that, forcing us further down in the bottom where you met by Ku Klux Klan and race soldiers and things like that, taking land from our people after we helped these people establish themselves in land. That's the real kick in the ass. We helped Caucasians establish themselves in America. You do realize that. It wasn't the Mongoloid Indians that helped y'all. They didn't help you. We helped Caucasian people establish themselves in America. Do the history on that. We showed them how to cultivate the land and grow on the land. They didn't know how to grow no food on no land. They didn't know how to do nothing. That's why they were starving here. That's why they got black people to get on the land and share crop, because they didn't know how to work the land. We know how to work it. How is it that people come from a whole other country supposed to be African? How do we know how to work the land better than the people that's supposed to be native here? Why was it the so-called Mongoloid Indians who's supposed to be native to America? Why wasn't they showing the white man how to farm? They didn't show them how to farm. They didn't even believe in owning land. They lived, I told you, they lived on the outskirts, and they were always camping. They had up teepees. They did not farm any land. They didn't. Okay? The people that were sharecropping on those properties were so-called black people. How do so-called black people who are not native to America, like you say, how do they know how to farm the land better than you? Why would you need them on your land who you hate these niggas so much as you say? Why do you have them sharecropping for you? If y'all know how to work the land yourself, you so white and supreme and superior, why did you need black people to sharecrop for you? Answer: because y'all didn't know how to work the land. You starved here. The story about the so-called Indians giving them food and corn and sharing food with them, that was our people. That was our people 9 times. I'm going to say that was our people. And if let's just say it was some of you Mongoloid, because a lot of the so-called Indians are black and Asian mixed. A lot of the Indians are black and Asian mixed. But the mass majority of Indians or the indigenous people are so-called full-on copper-colored races of people, so-called black. All right? I'm touching everything. All right. So when you see, I'm going to tell you what the Latinos claiming to be Native American and Mesoamerican reminds me of. It kind of reminds me of people like Fat Joe and a lot of these Latinos claiming that the Latinos is 50 hip hop and they started hip hop with black people. That's what this sounds like. When you hear Latinos talking about they the Mayans and the Olmecs and the Aztec and the Inca, when you see how the Mayans look right up here over my head, and you got hundreds of pictures of them statues of how they look, they just want to totally ignore that. That's why I told y'all better get these pictures, replicate them, get them wherever you can, put them up in your house, let your children see them before these people start trying to wipe away the history of our people like they've been trying to do. Because it looks ridiculous to me that you got obvious so-called black people up there, bronze, copper-colored people up there who clearly are, you could clearly see they bronze, copper-colored people, and you got these people saying, oh, they not. They look like us. And here it is. These are brown people with straight hair. These are clearly copper-colored people, so-called black with woolly hair. Oh, those are our people. They trying to play games with us, man. It's just people saying stuff. It's just people talking. They trying to play games with our people. They trying to lie to our people. A lot of y'all got forked tongues like the Caucasian. But then you got some Caucasian people that tell the truth. You got some Latinos that tell the truth, like Caremio. He's so-called Latino. He's a so-called Latino. And he's telling the truth. He the one of your own Latinos come out and tell you that the Mesoamerican, the real Native Americans are so-called black people. And that our culture was hijacked. That's why I give shout out to Caremio, give a shout out to Dane Calloway, give a shout out to A.R.C. Sister Vinzetta for bringing out the truth, bringing out the reality. Those are my sources. All right? Let me see. Let me see. I want to get on to another thing. Therapy. Why are black people being pushed into therapy now all of a sudden? I saw this YouTube video with Mr. Tariq Nasheed where he's talking about black people need therapy. Right? That black people need to seek therapy and go and get some therapy. Now, my question is, why do black people think this now all of a sudden? And then what hit me when, why is it that therapy is being used or pushed toward black people? All right? Now, Tariq Nasheed said, make sure when you go to a therapist, because black people need therapy because of the things we've been through, all the traumas in our life, and we need somebody to talk to and somebody can help us, somebody who's qualified. How do you qualify as a therapist exactly? What is a qualified therapist? What is that? Answer somebody that was trained by Caucasians. Because those are the people that control the therapist industry or the psychiatric industry. So when people like Tariq Nasheed them say, get somebody who is qualified, they mean get somebody who's educated by Caucasians to sit up and play like they're your fake friends, because that's all a therapist do. A therapist is just somebody who listens to your problems and tells you what's the best way to solve them or how to deal with them. That's a fake friend. Somebody that don't really know you. You're somebody that's just basically going off of what you tell them, not a person like like basically a fake friend, somebody who you got to act like, you just giving, you're not just talking about your life and you feel free to talk about, and they're going to basically give you their opinion on what you're saying to them, what it sounds like. How are you qualified? What makes you so qualified to give an opinion? Because that's all you're giving when you're sitting in therapy. You got people sitting up here that's willing to listen to you, and you got to pay these people to be willing to listen to you and give you their opinion and telling you what's best for you. They don't even know you. These are just people you paying to listen to you. You paying people to be your fake friend and somebody a fake confidant, somebody you can confide in. This is what you're paying for. This is what people think that we need. You know what we really need in place of therapy? We need community. We need community in place of therapy. We don't need no goddamn therapy. We don't need no white people or no or some niggas educated by white people to sit up here and tell us we got all kinds of traumas and pathologies and all these words they want to make up so they can just basically try to control you mentally. Tell you what your problem is. Oh, you're going to tell me about the trauma I experienced growing up in the hood, or the trauma I experienced getting molested. Not saying me, but I'm just saying a person might come to them talking about they've been molested. You're going to really help them? Of course, people say, oh, therapy works. Yeah, of course therapy works if you got somebody you can talk to. Because that's what most people need anyway. They need somebody to confide in, somebody that can, help, straighten out their way of thinking. So, we need community therapists. We need community people. And I don't even want to use the word therapist. Because if you look at the word, I remember Dr. York pointed out years ago, if you look at the word therapist, it says the rapist. It breaks up as the rapist. No, look at the word therapist. It breaks up as the rapist. Coincidence? I don't know. The rapist. Break apart the first part, the therapist, and then you see rapist. Right? Is it just me seeing that? Think about these things. Why are people pushing into it? It's just another form of mind control. Because these people write down things that you're saying to them, and they come up with these ideas, and they're creating these papers and ideas, and they taking notes and creating theses on you and whatnot. That's all these people doing. They studying you because the reason why they want to study our people is because that's how you get to control people. You study people as a way to control them. So if you're pushing therapy to our people, then that's just another form of mind control. That's all that is. We need community. We need real men and real women, brothers and sisters, brotherhood and sisterhood, where a brother could talk to another brother, a sister could talk to another sister, somebody we could confide in, where we ain't being fake friends and fake phony, and we paying these people to listen to us, and we hear people that's telling us stuff. We don't know if what they saying is, really helpful to us or whatnot, or whether they saying something that's just based on how they feel about a situation that does not have anything to do with our personal bearings and what we going through. You just basically trusting people to tell you the right thing. That sound like school again. That sound like religion. You just trusting people to tell you what sounds right instead of what actually is right. Because after you tell these people what you've been through, what you've been traumatized by, after you tell these people that, you got to move on. Because that's ultimately the goal, to move on, to cope with things, to let things go and move on so you can be better. You need that in the community, not somebody you got to sit up in therapy for 10 years with. Because you got people that's sitting up in this therapy thing, which is a big racket. You got people sitting up in therapy for 5 and 10 years. What do you think? They're people getting paid. They're getting paid to sit up here and listen to your BS or your trauma and them telling you, because they're not trying to cure you. It sounds like if you got to sit in therapy for 5 or 10 years or 20 years, they're not trying to cure you. They're trying to treat you. Just like with the people that sell you medicine. And they don't want to cure you, because if they cure you, you're not going to come back and they ain't going to keep getting paid. So it's the same thing with therapy. Therapy just gives you, creates a beeline of an industry where you come into these people and you're going to constantly be sitting on these people's couch. They ain't trying to let you get up off their couch and tell them that you're healthy and you could go on with your life. You'll be in therapy forever. As long as you got money and you can pay these people to listen to you and be fake friends to you, you'll be in therapy forever. They ain't trying to help you. They trying to get paid off you, like the people that sell you medicine. They trying to get paid. Or should I say drugs. All right. My thoughts on this slutty vegan thing. I'm glad this came up. I seen one of these slutty vegan places in New York. I hear it originated in Atlanta. And they say that this is the new rage of people, vegans, who are flocking to this slutty vegan place. It's supposed to be an all vegan cuisine, right? No meat, meatless, and all this other stuff, right? And people are flocking to this because y'all people are on this thing now. We ain't supposed to eat meat and all this other business, and we supposed to be vegans and vegetarians, whatever. Let me tell you something. That is the most disgusting thing I ever heard in my life, the slutty vegan. It is very disgusting. It sounds very disgusting and degenerate. The slutty vegan. I said on Facebook, what's next? The nasty hoe? The Slutty Vegan. Would you eat from a place called the Slutty Vegan? It sounds nasty and degenerate, which it is. I hear on the menu they saying all kind of sexual stuff, like, you know, one of my wives was telling me she went there a long time ago in Atlanta, and they got a whole lot of they try to sexualize the damn menu, and you know, look, man, people coming to eat, nobody want to hear all that, but listen to the name of Slutty Vegan. So I want to eat from a woman who calls herself a slut. You know what that drums up in my mind? It drums up this thing. I never seen this years ago. It was this crazy. It was this place where you had people, like, I forget what this was, some kind of cultural thing or something, where people was eating food out of a toilet. That's what it reminded me of when I hear the Slutty Vegan. I just envision people eating food out of a toilet. As nasty as that sounds, that's what comes to my mind when I hear the Slutty Vegan. That just sound like the nasty hoe cafe. That's what's next, the nasty hoe cafe. If you could go eat in this place called the Slutty Vegan, oh, and what's waiting on you at the Slutty Vegan? A whole bunch of soy-based food. Come get your soy burger, which they promote as a plant, where soy is not even a plant. It's a hybrid vegetable. It's a hybrid. It's not even a vegetable. It's a hybrid plant. You see, that creates a hormonal imbalance in black people, especially in men, period. And that's why I told you before, when I did the last time I said the horrors of the soybean and things like that. You got soy is setting off a hormonal imbalance in men, especially so-called black men and black boys. It just in general, they growing breasts. The soy got them growing breasts, got them getting hips like women, got the women chest getting all hard, some of them getting tumors in. Dr. Sebi said that they had to remove a lot of tumors from women's uterus, you know, do the compound thing, remove a lot of tumors, because these women were eating soy. A lot of these vegan women, these so-called black vegan females, thinking they eating good and healthy, they eating all this soy-based product, this grain meat and all this, you know, soy-based burgers and meat, and it's putting is creating a lot of tumors within their uterus from eating the soy. A lot of these vegan women. A lot of you men, like I said, you walking around, you eating soy every day, don't even realize it's in your everyday diet. That's why I told you, men, you have to check and make sure you're not eating anything that has a soy base to it or any kind of soy in it. Because this is the reason why you're seeing young black boys and men growing breasts and hips and everything like that, need bras and stuff. This is really happening. And it's being promoted to you purposely. This is why you're seeing a write-up of the Slutty Vegan and these newspapers talking about basically celebrating this. Now ask yourself a question. This is a restaurant just like any other restaurant. Why are they making it seem like this is some big grand thing? Because they're trying to push it to the public, because they want you so-called black people sitting up in the Slutty Vegan getting a big old soy burger sandwich. You black males who calling yourself vegans and vegetarians, they want you to get a big old soy hamburger. You see, or some soy fries. I bet you all that stuff is soy based on some level. You see, because let me tell you something. You got a lot of so-called black people who are on board with promoting this diet, this vegan diet, this vegetarian diet that is adverse to our genetic makeup. You see, soy creates a chemical and hormonal imbalance. It starts creating estrogen in your genetic material as men. Soy produces estrogen in you. That's why, again, you so-called black men, you eat it in your everyday food. That's why I tell you, brothers, you got to make sure you eating foods that are soy-free. Make sure you're looking for, if it don't say that, if you in doubt, don't eat it. Don't eat none of the breads, and stay away from these breads and full of yeast and soy and gluten. Stay away from these breads. Stay away from a lot of these juices and drinks and things like that. You know, these fake meat, these fake burgers and stuff like that. Stay away from this stuff. These butters and sauces and salad dressings full of soy. Full of soy. You got to stay away from these things. And then y'all run to the damn Chinese restaurant. All they do is cook in soy. All the Asians, they cook in soy. Vegetable oil is soy. They make sure that they load you down with soy. That's why, like I said, a lot of you black men walking around here basically being turned into females. And then a lot of you got a bitchy mentality, a bitchy attitude. This could be the link to it right here. And aside with the fact a lot of y'all was raised with single mothers. You see, be mindful of this. Again, this is what the Slutty Vegan is selling our people. And again, they really disrespecting you black women. Because how is it? Because the woman who is the owner of this brand, this franchise, one in Atlanta and one here in New York right now, this woman is a liberated black female. She got pink dreads. I already visualized how she looked before she even showed up. She's a liberated black female with pink dreads. Her name is Pinky Cole, I think. That's her name. Now, she's promoting herself as a slut. She's promoting herself as a slut. You see? Because she's promoting herself as a slutty vegan. Basically, and I think she's supposed to be LGBT or lesbian or whatever. But she looked like a pansexual, like, you know, one of the people that lay with anything, depending on how they feel, the pansexuals. That's the vibration you get from a lot of these liberated black females out here with the dreads and or whatever, that YOLO, you only live once. They into race mixing, they into homosexuality and lesbianism. They into, some of them is getting into pedophilia now. They into everything. They'll come out their mouth and tell you. This is the vibe I got off of her. You see? And this is who is feeding and setting up the community. You don't see them promoting the slutty vegan in white areas. Now, I know you'll get these people say, oh, why you hating on a black sister who trying to set up a business? I don't give a damn who it is. If you selling our people slutism, if you selling our people soy, or you selling our people this lie that we're supposed to eat a vegan diet, which we are not. We're supposed to eat a balanced meal of certain meats and certain vegetables. That's how we're supposed to eat. Natural things. We're supposed to eat a meat and plant-based diet. Natural plants, real plants without soy, actual meat, not no pork, not no beef, actual buffalo meat, actual turkey. We're supposed to eat those as proteins. There's nothing wrong with it. We've been eating meat. Now, all of a sudden, y'all just got this revelation that we're supposed to be vegans. Why? Because the white man said so? The same white man that want to sell you soy? Same Caucasian that want to push soy to you? No, thank you. You can keep the slutty vegan. And the nasty hoe if it come up, the nasty hoe cafe if it come up. Because that's just really a downgrade to you so-called black women. That's all it is. Because that's an ode to that whole, you know, remember when that crazy chick Amber Rose was doing the damn slut walk thing? You see, she was doing the slut walk thing. They had a lot of you so-called black women out there talking about my vagina, my choice. You didn't use the word vagina, you used the P word. I don't want to use that. I don't want to be vulgar. But you use my vagina, my choice. So basically, you are promoting what in slutism, or in slutism, you're promoting being a whore, a slut, being loose with your body, you know, abortion. Of course, you are all for abortion. The liberated black woman, she would abortion. Definitely with killing a baby. She with that, right? Because she's being told to do that by Planned Parenthood, who you know who started that. Right? But you so-called black people bugged out of your minds. This is what happens when you buried under blackness. You can't think. You just start following things. Y'all, these people actually lined up like they was like how you niggas get lined up to go buy some Jordans. You know, the official Jordans that y'all think is going to be sold out. If you don't get them in the next 2 hours, then they'll have them up there the next 2 days. And y'all stood out there like idiots trying to get them on a damn line to get a pair of Jordans. That's how they had this line outside the slutty vegan place, man. It just sounds nasty. I'm sorry, it just sounds nasty and disgusting. And the fact that y'all would line up and go on a place like that. And again, I'm not trying to, you know, tear up her business or whatever. But you need to know what you're putting in your mouth and what you're going. And that goes for y'all is eating this damn Chinese food and this fast food and whatnot. Because that's all it seems like. This is nothing but some vegan fast food thing from a person calling themselves a slutty vegan. No, thank you. I wouldn't go to the slutty vegan, nor would I go to the nasty hoe cafe. No, thank you, because you ain't no telling what's in the damn food. But in this menu, obviously, soy is the base. All right. Let me see. All right. Okay, I got more things I want to touch on. I want to miss. I talked about the Olmec legacy, which is ours. I talked about the Latinos claiming Mesoamerican and Native American ancestry because, again, we claiming it. Again, it sounds like Fat Joe. I told you, it sounds like Fat Joe all over again. Whatever we do and whatever we make hip and cool, like you got a lot of Latinos that saying using the N-word, nigga this, nigga that, nigga this. I'm like, okay, but that word was given to us by Caucasians here in America because we were considered niggardly people. I told you the origin of the word nigger. The word nigger comes from the word niggardly, which means stingy. Or as you know, stingy, tight with money. That's what they called our people when they came here, that we were stingy with money, tight with our land. We didn't want to share the resources that we had because we knew how to work the land. So we didn't share it with the Caucasian European immigrants that came here. So they started calling us niggardly people. Look up the word niggardly. It's an English word. They started calling us niggardly people, and thus, after a while, they shortened it to nigger. You see? But nigger is short for niggardly. Stingy people. And again, this is why they have this hate for our people in this society, because we didn't share with the Caucasian Europeans when they came here, and we started basically setting up our own class system where we was the haves and they were the have-nots. Then when they got in position, they made sure that they made sure that they switched places with us, where they became the haves, and they made sure that we was going to be the have-nots. And that's why you see it this way today, because there's hate for us. Make sure I got everything. Make sure I touched everything. I got the therapy thing. I might have touched on my topics. I might have touched them all. There was, you see. Let me see. I might have touched everything. Everything else I'm going to save for, what's the name? I'm going to save for the cast. Because some stuff on here that I say that I can't really get into and say. That's why I tell you subscribe to MENTELLECT Patreon. Subscribe to that. Because I speak on things that I can't talk about on YouTube. I still want to put some of these things up on YouTube. And who knows, over time, somebody might find this offensive and might strike it down. But I don't give a damn. I'm going to say what I got to say. So, but check out, I might have touched everything. If I did, I'm good. But check out High and Mighty Talks. Let me see. Did I get everything? All right. Okay. Check out High and Mighty Talks. Subscribe to High and Mighty Talks. Those of you who are watching, subscribe to High and Mighty Talks.
You have a question.
Oh, I got a question. Tell me what the question is. My lovely wife is getting the questions. Please, if y'all got questions, she'll defer to. I don't got time to read all the questions, because when I get into my thing, I ain't got time. Where's the question? I'm trying to see. And I'm gonna say this too. A lot of people, they got an issue with I can't say again? Okay. Hey, do me a favor. Bring me some oil. I want to try and place. I need some oil for the lips to get it, get my lips. Because I got a place like bring me the, what's the name oil? I'm telling my wife, wanted to bring me the, one of my wives to bring me that. The oil.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want to.
Does the Nile River refer to the Mississippi River?
It could be, yeah. The Mississippi River, it correlates with the Nile River. A lot of things here in America are in correlation to Egypt. Okay, a lot of the things you see the pyramids here in Egypt. See, the pyramids here in America are much more extensive and more advanced in the structure than in Egypt. So, in that sense, and I said this before, the thing things in Egypt, in ancient Egypt, a lot of this stuff was Mesoamerican or American at first, and a lot of stuff got transported into Egypt. Because if you look at the technology of America and what our people built, it was on a much larger scale than Egypt. So it basically leads you to say that this technology, the pyramids, which are nothing but diamond-shaped domes or diamond-shaped chambers and domes, that technology is here in America, and we took it over into the East. So a lot of correlation is made between America and Egypt. In fact, they refer to America as the New Egypt. A lot of correlation is made. So yeah, the rivers, like I said, that is in correlation to each other. But listen, let me try this out. I ain't acting right today. Hold on. I want to play this. I want to play it, and I'm going to get it. This ain't acting right today, but we're going to do... I don't know. I'll get it next time. They don't want to act right for me. But I had a tune going out of it. Like I said, I'm moisturizing my lips because it's the same thing a trumpet player does. You got to do the same things a trumpet player does when you're playing it. That's why you see me moisturizing my lips. I'm trying to get that going. But we'll revisit it. What else we got? Questions? That's it? So that's pretty much, I think I touched on everything. We'll be back again within another few days. I know it's been a while since I put up a High and Mighty Talks, and been busy with the family and everything. We're gonna have a lot more High and Mighty Talks as time goes on, and we're gonna build up the channel. Subscribe, share. That again, that horn, that buffalo horn, that's part of our culture and our heritage. And when we have our ethnic American events, we're going to be playing it because we standing up as the ethnic Americans. We're not letting nobody punk us out of our culture no more. But that's it. We're going to close out in the name of Amen, by the power of Amen. Amen we trust, and Amen we thank, and Amen we continue for it forever. Catch American Republic Radio tonight at 10 on Blog Talk, American Republic Radio. I'm going to be doing American Republic Radio tonight. I'm doing the 12 Tribes of America. The 12 Tribes of America. Not to be confused with the 12 Tribes of Israel. The Israelites got it backwards. They're 12 Tribes of America. This is the place in which our people are being gathered and judged in our own homeland, in our continent. So check us out. And subscribe to High and Mighty Talk. Subscribe to the Ethnic American channel with Enra Sister Vinzetta. Ethnic American channel here on YouTube. Subscribe to Dane Calloway. He got some good information about the history. Subscribe to Dane Calloway. Subscribe to Karemio Ahawu. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to Enra Sister Vinzetta Ethnic American channel. And with that, see you next time. I'm out.